Good morning, MegaWhale team, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day today. In today's video, we are doing a macro and short-term analysis for Bitcoin, going over exactly what you need to be paying attention to, how the price is developing, and what you should be expect moving into the upcoming economic news. Before we go ahead and jump into it, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about the upcoming economic news and how the price action will respond. Do you think that will push the price upward, or will we see the price push back down? We are going to be discussing, of course, our expectations, the short-term price action, and of course, the macro charts in today's video. Now, before we get into it, make sure to smash that like button, hit that comment button, and of course subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, just pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, you can also join us on Telegram. You can go ahead and get access to that channel with the first link down below, getting access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and of course everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. And if you are interested in joining our VIP channel, you can do that by clicking the pinned comment of the free channel, contacting our admin, checking out a 54+ month trading track record, or watching a 10-minute video inside the channel. Let's go ahead, guys, and jump into the video. So as we said, a lot of consolidation here in the short term. Bitcoin is still sitting underneath that $112,000 region and is making it pretty apparent that there's a lot of resistance here, not only from a technical level, which we'll discuss in today's video, from the 4-hour 200 moving average, the daily 50 EMA, the horizontal levels, but of course, we are sitting at a very important point in time for not only Bitcoin, but the broader cryptocurrency market as well, being that of altcoin market and of course the total cryptocurrency market cap. So a lot to discuss in today's video. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting on the market data with 24-hour volume and 24-hour liquidations. Both of these data sets moving up very slightly, waiting 1 second for this to load, up 73% for 24-hour volume, 269 billion here, so up a fair bit, and liquidations up 124%, 315 million in total liquidations. A lot coming from this altcoin MYX. I don't know if you guys have seen it again. We don't really talk about altcoins on this channel, but this altcoin has gone up like 10x in the last few days. So with that volatility and with that volume, it just draws even more volume into that particular asset as people try to jump in to catch a bid, catch a short, catch a long, and we just see mass amounts of liquidations. At the moment, we are seeing a bit of a short squeeze for that, hence why it is pushing up so aggressively. But a lot of liquidations coming from MYX, Ethereum as well, others, and of course Bitcoin. Moving over to the DXY. The DXY dropping 97.3, did break that weekly uptrend. Overall, we are bearish. We have been bearish in the DXY, expecting corrections to 93 to 92 ever since we came back down below 106. So we are looking at this move, guys, from that point at which we turned bearish, about a 13% drop, and since then we're down around 8. So we're looking at least about 65% of the way through this correction from that point at which we turned bearish. We are still expecting the DXY to drop into this region again. That will be exacerbated by interest rate reductions, and depending on how those actually come to fruition will determine how quickly the DXY does fall. The S&P 500 sitting still guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's looking okay, but we're still sitting underneath that downtrend in the RSI. And as you know, I'm a momentum trader. I trade based on what the momentum is doing. So from a momentum perspective, I'm still acting a little cautious over here. Now, we have seen instances where we've had these downtrends break upwards, resulting in continuation. So I'll show you an example here for the total altcoin market. We'll come back to in a second. We've seen the momentum flip back positive, which is absorbing that selling pressure, facilitating continuations upwards. Before the S&P 500 here, we have still got that uptrending diagonal resistance we are watching, of course represented by this diagonal trend line, and we do have that downtrend in the RSI signaling to us that no matter which way this does go, we are seeing exhaustion happen right now. So this means the buyers are either losing steam, meaning their volume is dropping, or the sellers are starting to step in and sell at larger quantities. Either or, again, the same result is exhaustion, sideways consolidation, and an overall reduction in volatility. Hence, the swings in terms of the distance between these lows and highs have been dramatically decreasing. This is an upward compression, which generally results in downward corrections when we're looking at wedge formations, but not always. So again, cautiously optimistic, bearish if this trend line breaks, looking for moves to 6250. That is it for the S&P 500. Let's jump into Bitcoin. Before we do, a quick message: go ahead and sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, and BingX. The exchange links are down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume. You'll go ahead and support me making this content on a daily basis. You'll support yourself trading on exchanges I use and I trust. And of course, guys, you'll get access to all of the exclusive bonus campaigns we run on BitUnix. Check it out. We'll play an ad and we'll jump back in. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay team, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. Starting on Bitcoin, I want to start on the short term and then build it up to the higher time frame. So beginning on the hourly charts here, guys, you can see just how much sideways consolidation we have had for Bitcoin. In fact, I'm going to delete everything off this chart just to show you we have got some very important levels here for Bitcoin, starting with our range high, which is going to be represented by this black horizontal trend line dragging out into our range low. We have a very clear horizontal consolidation here. Now, it is a speculative horizontal consolidation because, again, when we're confirming patterns, we look for at least 2 to 3 retests on each side, particularly when we're looking at horizontals. So the confirmation of this horizontal consolidation would be confirmed if we were to retest the low again. Nevertheless, this is still a range we need to be paying attention to, as the upper portion of his range between around 13,000 to 13,500, which we'll discuss in just a second, represents a key level of resistance which we have been struggling to break through since ever dropping below it on the 25th of August. This is essentially the resistance we will need to break to facilitate continuations upward for Bitcoin and likely for the broader cryptocurrency market, potentially into 117 and 118,000. Breaking above and maintaining above this level essentially massively reduces the potential for further continuations down into 98, into 100, into 105,000. So if we want to completely erode the potential for bearish continuations down, we need to break above this resistance. That is the important resistance we can see here, as I've just identified. Furthermore, this is a range we are watching. So again, the range low represented by this 107 to 108 level is going to be the trigger point for a horizontal breakdown and thus a continuation lower. And if we retest this point, we will be confirming a horizontal consolidation, which gives a measured move target of a correction into around about just above 100,000. So it confirms, again, the loss of the range low can trigger that next leg down for the market. When we are looking at the price action within this consolidation, we have to be watching how the price is reacting in regards to momentum, We can see here, we have had a short-term uptrend in the RSI breakdown, and we have had a red dot print here on the market of B, and a weakening positive momentum signal here on my custom indicator, signaling momentum is turning in favor of the sellers, that this move here has potentially topped and exhausted. This could pull us back into these weak lows and again, these sell side liquidity levels to potentially facilitate a retest of the range low. Furthermore, if we go ahead and zoom out again, rewinding this chart back to the 4-hour chart, we can see on the 4-hour chart, and I'll show in the daily chart as well, we have had a retest and rejection from the 200 moving average yet again. So we've got a clear invalidation point, and that retest and rejection lines up very well with that 113,000 to 113.5 thousand region, which we talked about just a few seconds ago, represented by this gray horizontal box. So we know that while we remain above, or should I say below, this resistance and the 200 moving average, the potential for corrections are still on the cards. Now, while we are in these upward consolidations, the potential for continuations into these apexes are there, but we have to remember the broader trend, although it is short-term upwards, the larger trend is still pointing down until we break through these resistances. So I'll say it again. Although the short-term trend from 107 has been upward sloping, the broader trend is still sloping down until we break through 113.5 and the 200 moving average, and not only break through but maintain above. So if we want to see the buyers get back in, we need to see that happen prior to the price retesting these lows, because by doing so, we almost confirm that we are going to see continuations lower. Let's zoom out to a daily chart now for Bitcoin. So coming over to the daily chart, we can see a few things. Number one, the daily 50 EMA is kind of acting as that for hourly 200 moving average. I'm not going to talk about that too much yet. Again, if we're looking at the daily chart, we have seen numerous failures to maintain a break on the daily, even above the 12,500 point. Again, if we look back at the weekly range low of the horizontal consolidation, we're looking at the points between 12,500 and we look at the points between 12,000, sorry. What am I talking about? 112,000 and 112,500. Now, you're probably wondering where these levels come from. If we zoom out a little bit over here, we can see we have got a broader consolidation, which is the range high. We had the range high deviation, which marked the correction into the sell side liquidity, which we bounced from to establish a support, and then we lost. This is also, again, the prior weekly range high in May 2025. So we're going to go ahead and delete everything to make this nice and clear for everyone. Again, we can draw our rectangular box in through this region. That is going to be our resistance. So again, we can see the broader trend for Bitcoin, although in the short term has been up into resistance, we are still downward sloping. This is still a downward trend underneath prior levels of support. Prior support becomes future resistance. So until we break through this region, as we just discussed in the short term, the expectation is that we run the risk of further corrections downward. If we break through and maintain, that will be the end of this broader downtrend and the beginning of a hopeful reversal into this level at 118,000. So making it very simple for everyone to understand, breaking it down level by level to show you guys exactly what is happening. Now we can get into the more complicated things, such as our technical levels. We're going to take a look at the 34.34 as it is still relevant, it is still valid. Historically, every time you've broken below the 34.34 on the RSI, we can look back over the course of this particular bull run, we have seen corrections. So we'll go ahead and mark them out over here. We had one over here. We had one over here. We'll zoom in a second. We had one over here. Moving forward, we had a small breakdown here. We had another two breakdowns here, a breakdown over here, and a breakdown of here. So there's going to be 7 times since, again, the beginning of 2023. We have lost the 34.34. If we zoom into these respectively, we saw a large correction, we saw a large correction, we saw a large correction. Zooming in, we saw numerous flash corrections here, 2 flash corrections here, and that was our 7 times. But what we also have noticed is that upon the flash corrections, upon losing 34.34, every single one of these has actually marked a potential bottom and reversal. So What is that telling us in context of the price action? It is telling us, yes, we run the risk of correcting lower. That is still very much on the cards. And if we do lose the 34.34, we could see a flash correction into this 100 to 98,000 region, which would be an expected bottom for Bitcoin before we then reverse upwards again. That is where we are sitting at the moment. But for that to happen, we need to lose 34.34. And for us to even retest 34.34, we need to lose the range low of the potential horizontal consolidation, which may develop. So a lot of things have to happen, right? The market is probabilistic. It is not deterministic. You're probably listening to this and saying, well, you're basically saying if this happens, that will happen. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I want you all, particularly if you think the market is deterministic, to go to the Telegram channel and read this post. I made a very insightful post about the illusion of determinism in trading and why I believe deterministic approaches, particularly those pushed by things like cycle trading, Elliott wave theory, ICT concepts, are some of the most detrimental things to you as traders in terms of your mindset and in terms of how you actually go about trading. Trading in reality is nothing like what these theories go to instill and go to push. They create a idea that you just need to follow these set rules, or you just need to understand these set mechanisms, and you understand exactly how the market works and you'll be able to trade with massive amounts of success. That is not what trading is about. That is completely false. And I want you to go ahead and read this because I'm very proud of it. I think it's very interesting, but of course it's very insightful, and I'm sure it's going to open your eyes into the trap of what is determinism in trading and why trading is actually probabilistic and the nature of real day trading. This comes from a real trader. I've traded billions of dollars in volume. Last year, I did over 2 billion in volume. Again, all my trades are live, all my trades are public. I share them all. Well, not public, but in my VIP. And of course, I do live trading in my group chat, and I've done trading challenges live, hundreds of thousands of the profit. Not the point at all. The point is, this is information that I believe is beneficial, insightful, and will help you navigate the markets and navigate the way you think about trading, which is also one of the most important elements, right? The mindset behind trading, the mindset and your emotions is one of the most important and fundamental components of being a successful trader. So check it out. Let's get back into it. Bit of a divergence. 3-day chart, not much happening. 50 EMA, break that. We are going down. Until then, we do have the potential to bounce as we have historically on the 3-day. On the weekly, I don't really have too much new to say. If we go to the weekly chart really quickly on this chart, you can see we are sitting underneath the weekly range. The weekly range we need to break above is around 14,000. So if we get above 114,000 and maintain on the weekly, we will be bullish. Now, to do that, we need to, of course, maintain above 113 to 113.5, which we know is the horizontal level of resistance we've talked about for the last 10 minutes. So a lot of levels begin to line up here, which we need to pay attention to. But of course, this chart just shows you on a weekly chart that this is still a bearish structure. Something to pay attention to, something to watch. Let's wrap up the video there, guys. Quickly, total market cap. Total altcoin market cap looking interesting, breaking the momentum. Of course, nothing is confirmed until 6 days, 6-day close. We could see this sweep high over here, then just come back down. Very, very possible. If we are able to maintain for 6 days above, we could see continuations upwards, but it all comes back to how the 6-day close occurs here for the RSI. Looking at the total market cap, it is going to be at mercy to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops, well, then total market cap's going to drop. And I want to say one more thing. Everything we have discussed is at mercy of how the market responds to CPI, PPI, and most importantly, interest rates. We'll discuss that all in our next videos. I think by Thursday, we will have the PPI data out. By Thursday, we'll have the PPI data out. And then on Friday, we'll also talk about CPI. So thank you for tuning in. Catch you guys all in the next video. See you then.